Okay, guys, let's revise what we did in the last class and we'll build our project from there. So, the first thing I would need is to build my project folder. Let me go to the documents, create a new project folder. Full stack score to do. Okay. Inside my full stack project folder, I'll create my first backend. To do underscore backend. And once I created my backend folder, I have to create a virtual environment. So how do I create a virtual environment? I'll go to command prompt, python -m venv dot venv. Okay. Now my virtual environment will be created. Okay, let me see if my virtual environment is created or not. Okay, my virtual environment is created. Once my virtual environment is created, the next step I need to do is open that virtual environment in VS Code. So I'll go code space dot. Okay. Okay, the virtual environment is now open in VS Code. And it asks if I trust the authors. So since it is my project, I trust the authors. Once VS Code is open, it will activate it. So go to view and terminal. Let's see if the VN is activated or not. Okay. Now when you see .venv written like this in the parenthesis, that means your virtual environment is activated. Now we need to install Django. You can install Django. Now this Django will not be installed on my laptop, rather it will be installed on my virtual environment, so that if anybody else is running a project here, they will be able to run their own version of Django separately from whatever I have installed. Okay, this provides a partition, basically a clean partition where I can run my project with my own version of software. So even though someone else is having another project using Django, their Django is different from the Django that I am using. Okay, Django got installed. Let us verify whether the Django is installed or not. We'll go to the libraries and we are able to see Django. Okay, Django is installed. Now we need to start a project. So let's say Django. The code for this is Django admin. And as I said, don't worry about remembering the commands. I'll provide you notes with that. You can carry that note or you can create your own notes where you have these small tasks that you have to remember. You have it written and you can refer those. Okay. And once you build 4 to 5 projects, these tasks will easily come. You will be able to easily recall these commands. Don't stress about remembering it right now. Okay. Start project to do underscore backend. Okay. Okay, I did a small. Okay, if you notice here, I have my to-do backend folder. Then Django has created a to-do backend folder, and Django has created another to-do backend folder. So instead of having 3 folders with to-do backend, you can actually just remove this. Okay, and instead create it with this command, created with space dot. This time, if you use this, you will not have 3 different folders for your same project. Now my to-do backend is directly created inside my main folder along with VM. So there's no internal folder here. Makes it easier for you to handle the project later on. Okay. Once the project is created, okay, now project is created. Let's go and check it. Now here is where we start our today's class. Huh. Now let's see what is the structure of this project. You're able to see this here, the structure. This is the structure that I am talking about. Okay. In this, the first thing that we'll talk about is manage.py. Okay. What does manage.py do? Manage.py takes all the responsibility of administrator. You can just say, he is your admin. So, what are the administrative commands? Like run server, okay, and let's say whenever you're changing something in the database, then updating database, that is called as migrations. We'll cover that later. Updating DB, so etc. I think you get the idea of administrative commands that I'm talking about here for manage.py. Okay, and second file that we have we'll talk about is urls.py. What does it do? You, from the name, as you're understanding URLs, right? What urls.py does is that whenever you are using Google Chrome or any browser, whenever you type the address, right, wherever you type a address in a web browser, urls.py urls.py is the file that handles that web address. So let's say if I say this 120 127.0.1.0.1 port number 8000, whenever I say this URL, right, this URL, where does this URL, when it comes from the web browser, where does it land in the Django project? To this urls.py. So this is how they are connected. This URL that you're sending here from the browser, right, that URL that you're sending from the browser goes inside the urls.py file. Now this url.py file sends that data, sends this URL request to a views.py file. You're not able to see the views.py file here, but we'll create it now. Views.py file. What does views.py file take? It it takes the URL. It takes a request, like whatever you're requesting here in the web page. Let's say you're asking for a page, it will take that request and it will return response. Then whatever views.py will return, it will go back to your browser. So journey will start here where you will ask something. It will go to the urls.py. Urls.py will send you to views.py. Views.py will read whatever the data you have asked for and it will send you, it will give you the data back. Okay. So these are the three main files that you need to know, at least for this week. If you know these three files, you will be able to do all our tasks. Okay, so let's do a quick revision. What are the files? First, manage.py for admin task, urls.py for handling the URLs that we get from the browser, views.py to actually send the data. Okay, these are the three files that we need to know, and with these three files, we'll be building a web page where we'll return hello to the users. Okay. Okay. As I said, urls.py, views.py is not yet created. So let me create a file called views.py. All the Python files will have a extension called py, views.py. Okay. Now we have created a views.py where we'll just say, okay, where we want where we'll create a function. That function will handle your request and it will send you a response. So let me write a function def say underscore hello. Okay. I write a function called say hello where I take in request. What is this request? This request is HTTP request and I'll return very simple one return return a response HTTP response where I'll just say hello. Hello people, welcome to full stack project. Okay. Now you will be asking me one thing. Where did the where did this HTTP response come from? Right? So this is where Django shines. Django has given us Django knows that okay, you're building a web application, and there are a lot of things that you need to do for the web application. So then what Django does is it makes a lot of things easier for us so that uh, we can just plug and play our project and we should focus on our logic that we have to build rather than writing about how to handle internet traffic, how to handle the data, how to send a HTTP response. All those things will be taken care by Django and that we can import from Django.http import HTTP. Okay, now you see the yellow mark here is gone. Now this is saying that okay, if you have to input anything, if you have to do anything with the internet, I will handle it for you. So you just tell me what is the data you want to tell to the world. I want to say hello, welcome to the full stack project. This is what my website will show. Okay. Now I have written the function. Function takes a request, sends a response. How will the people on the internet know about this page? This is where urls.py comes in. So whenever someone opens my server, I have to say path means the URL path. So whenever anybody comes to my websites and asks for say hello, whenever someone is coming to my website and asking me to say hello, or whenever just someone comes to my website, you remember what was the last wait, I want to show you what is the default output without this first. And once I show you that output, and then I want to write the path. Okay. So let me show you how the page looks before we write the path and how the page looks after we write the path first. Okay. So let me run the server. And as I said, any admin task now will be done by manage.py. So Python manage.py run server. This is going to run my server. Let me copy this link. Now my server is running. Okay. Let me take it to a web browser and paste this. Okay. What is happening here? If you can see on my screen, what is happening here? You are getting a default Django page. Django has just given you this page that to tell you that okay, you have configured your server and this is your landing page, which I have given by default to you. But I rather want to say hello to the people, right? I want people to see my message or whatever I want to put here. Okay. So now when I open this, I'll say to Django that path whenever someone opens my website or opens the server and does not say anything, okay? He just opens the website. Where do you need to direct them to? You have to direct them to views.py. So you have to say, you have to direct them to views. And what is the function name here? Say hello. So you direct them to views dot say hello. You have to redirect them to this function. And how does urls.py know about the file called views? You have to import that from dot means current folder, from current folder import views. Now you have said to Python, Django that, okay, you import the views that I have just written, and from that views, whenever someone opens my page, you redirect them to this function. What is the function name? Say hello function. So what it does, it goes to the say hello function and it returns a response to a response that I have given. So let's try this again now. See, now whatever response you want to send, you can send it to the users. Okay, this is about just opening page. Let's say if someone opens your website and they want to know about you have seen the websites, right, that have about us page. Similarly, let's say there is a about us, we want to build a simple about us page. About us, every function will take request as a parameter by default. Okay, we'll take the request and then we'll return, let's say something about us, response. Hi people, we are learning development and we are located in India, or if you're from some other country, we are located on Earth. I don't think anybody outside of Earth is seeing this video. Okay. Now, if someone wants to know about us, they want to go to the page about us, this is what they should get. And then after I create a function and the response, I have to go to the URLs and tell that if someone wants to reach our website. So basically, URLs is the broker between the logic that we have written in the server and the web address that uh, users are asking for. Okay, if someone says about underscore us, then you send them to views dot about us. Let me see the function name. Let me verify. Yes, about us. Okay, once I have written this, all right. Okay, once I have written this, now if I go to the page called about us slash VOUT about underscore us, let's see what we get. Really? Okay, what did we do here? We did not give comma after the first path. You provide that comma and then it will be able to read it. Hi people, we are learning full stack development. We are located on Earth. So this way you can build multiple pages for your website, multiple, and if you are building API, you can build multiple endpoints. So basically what we have learned here today is that, okay, if a user is trying to access our server, how do we connect that to our functions? Functions is where we write our logic. So our logic to input to our logic. I mean, URL to our logic and our logic to back to web browser. You ask for about a space that hits URLs. URLs reads URL urls.py reads the URL, sends you to a function views.py. You reach to the views.py function, and then you get a response. That response is sent back to the browser. This is how the journey is completed. Okay. I think we'll close our today's class here. And if you have any doubts, please mention that in the comments. And I know I'm starting this as a full stack project. So if there are any internal, so sorry. So if there are any concepts, Python concepts or any concept that you're not able to understand, you let me know in the comments and we'll create side playlists for those concepts individually. Okay. So we'll go parallelly. One side will complete a full stack application. Other side will keep making videos on any doubts or any issues that you have. Okay, that's all for today. Bye bye guys.